Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
All right, Chris, what do you have? Well, let me see. Before I give you news, I'm going to give news.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so it is time for Brush Up Mac. It is time for homeowners to be turning in their applications. So if you own your home, you can go to the chamber, you can go to the senior center, or you can go to our website, McPhersonHousingCoalition.org, fill out an application if you have minor home repairs.
Yeah, we're not fixing it. We're not going to rebuild your whole entire house.
I can't paint your whole house.
We can't do it.
Or yard work. We want to keep our seniors, especially in their homes, safely. Yep. And so that's what this program is for. The other thing is, if you are a part of a business, you own a business, you work at a business, you think it'd be really cool to put together a team of coworkers to do some work at some houses, then go to our website and pull up the team or the volunteer application and start to put together a team, and then let me know. I've already heard from one bank here in town.
Yay.
And they want the same lady that they helped last year.
Oh, that's so cool.
So there is a relationship that's created when you help somebody. So they want to take advantage of that. All right.
And I will say, I have to say this, that's my favorite day of the whole year. I love Brush Up Mac.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It is my favorite to see how much joy it brings, not only to the people that are getting the work done, but the people who are helping. So it's my very, very favorite time of the year. I love Brush Up Mac.
Yeah.
So I thought we would circle back to Australia a little bit. You know, we have listeners on Australia.
Yes.
And Joey has a friend there, and we were talking a week or so ago about the low-income housing and how the wait list is so long that this one lady in this article was going to have to wait 10 years to get affordable housing. And she's like, I'm not going to live that long. Well, he just heard from a friend, and I won't mention names, but he said right now his wait is 34 years.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not going to live long enough to get affordable housing in Australia. So again, we have friends in Australia who listen and follow us all over the place, but this is an international problem.
Yeah.
It's not just a problem in the United States. It's going on everywhere. So that's the only reason that we really like to point that out, that we're not in this boat alone. We're all going in the same direction.
Well, and that brings up a really good point, because the 28th of January was when the annual point-in-time count was done. And it's a little crazy to me that we do this in the dead of winter when if you have somebody that's homeless, that's able to sleep on somebody's couch, sleep on their floor, whatever, they do that. So they hide. But that's when HUD has decided that we need to do this point-in-time count. And it's very interesting because Joey said he saw on the news this morning that the police department in Wichita found 700 homeless people. So that means 700 people were out in the elements where they could be found. And that's beside the folks that the agencies over there work for, that they're looking for, that they're trying to get housed. So it's a huge issue.
Makes me sick to my stomach, quite honestly.
I know. Yeah.
To imagine that over 700 people in Wichita are living in these elements. We know how cold it got. It was minus 20 or something. I don't remember how cold it got. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But I'm in my house, sitting by my fireplace, being all toasty and warm, and I'm feeling really bad because I know there are people out on the streets who can't even find any kind of a warm place to live. And that's why this work that we do is so important. I just saw something on our Facebook page from our COC, Kansas COC, where there's a veteran living in his car. He makes money, but he cannot afford any type of housing, and so he's in his car.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a veteran.
Well, that just goes to show that it doesn't matter what your walk in life is. It can happen to anybody. So, all right. So there's our news. Now that we've brought you all down.
I know. We're going to bring you back up because this is a really good story. So we brought you down. We have to get the emotions moving, right? Because otherwise it would be super boring. We got to be funny and sad and happy and all of it.
Yeah, there you go. So today we're joined by Sarah and Meaghan, and they're with MacTown. So we're going to let them introduce themselves and tell you what they do.
Yeah, my name is Sarah Muehler, and my husband Chad and I, we own MacTown Fitness Company. And this is kind of a cool, maybe full circle moment. I've known Chris a really long time because 16 years ago, the house that we are still currently living in, we actually worked with the Housing Coalition to be able to buy that. So Chad worked at the YMCA at the time, and we had 4 small children, and we're having a very hard time finding some place to live in McPherson. And so to say that opportunity that the Housing Coalition provided us changed our lives would be maybe the biggest understatement ever. Because the following year, we wanted to open a gym. Chad had gotten a different job, and we were looking to, we had gotten into CrossFit at the time and wanted to start our own gym. And we were able to use the equity in that house to start our gym.
Oh, wow. that is awesome.
Yeah,
that
it has
awesome.
served, when you think about that, that was, we've had the gym for 13 years now, and has really just become a deep passion of both of ours to be able to kind of serve the community in a greater way in the fitness space. And we just would have never been able to do that had it not been for being able to purchase that house at what we were able to because of the Housing Coalition, and to be able to use that to start a business is pretty profound.
It's awesome. It's so awesome. And I follow people, anybody that we've helped, I follow them.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how they're doing. And it just like brings a smile to my face to know. I mean, that's why our mission statement is now from homeownership, from homelessness to homeownership and everything in between, because you're a perfect example of
and
what
beyond.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes, and beyond, because you're a perfect example of what happens. We have another family or two that we've helped in that same way, and to watch them blossom and grow. Your kids are doing amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really impactful.
So it's been wow. Yeah. And that's why this work, again, is so important, because of the impact. You don't even know. I mean, I would have never imagined when we were going through that. That was an interesting thing.
Was a wild experience.
It was a wild experience, but we did it. Yay, we did it, And so that's why it's so important, and that we continue to move forward in our mission of what we're doing and impacting, because you just don't know where it can lead. Who would have thought? And now here they are giving back. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, and Ron, we had Ron and Swati on our show a while back, and he said, you changed the trajectory of our lives.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing it every day, I don't think about that.
Yeah.
But when you look back, just like Sarah's giving us the opportunity to do, when you look back, you realize, wow. Oh, it gives me goosebumps.
I know. I'm over here grinning like a Cheshire cat or whatever.
No, I mean, genuinely, I think it occurs to me often, like that was the catalyst to start the gym. And then as it's kind of evolved over the years, just really to be able to look like that was our first home we've ever bought, and we're still in it, and we still love it, and it's a fantastic home. Our kids were all raised in it. I'm going to bring a grandbaby to it, soon.
Wow.
So there's just, again, when you think of kind of the arc of that at that time for us was genuinely life-changing for a lot of reasons, but the fact that it gave us the opportunity to use equity, to start a business that is still growing and thriving, and genuinely has always been a big, important part of that business is to return, good things back into the community because of it. So, it's kind of a cool moment to be sitting in here with Chris.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like, okay, we can just end the podcast now.
Good place to start.
Cool.
I want to talk about our kids' program.
We haven't talked anything about what they're doing, but I'm happy.
We're good.
All right, Meaghan, it's your turn.
Sorry to lead.
No, you're
See
good.
if you can top that. Go ahead.
Probably can't. My name is Meaghan Reamy. I am not originally from Kansas. I'm actually originally from El Paso, Texas. I am a graduate of Central Christian College with a degree in exercise science, and got married really young. Long story short, my husband and I have never left. So I have worked in different industries in my adult life, and all of them have been centered around helping people. So this is a really cool opportunity that I have currently to be able to work with the younger generation of people in the county to be able to help them create healthy habits that they can carry on for a lifetime.
Okay, so what is Forging Youth Resilience, and how did it begin? How did this whole thing start? You just woke up one morning and
I'm
said,
going to let you take the
"Ta-da!"
reins on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like I said, really, because our kids were so young when we started the gym, kids have always been a part of the gym in some variety, whether we were doing, camps or classes or homeschool groups or, that's always been part of it. And there was an organization kind of in the CrossFit space called Steve's Club that had always kind of been on my radar. They were working with at-risk kids and they had kind of gone across the country and different gyms were kind of providing that service. And then again, it was just kind of like you kind of sit on something sometimes as an entrepreneur and you're like, it's just going to take the right time and right person kind of thing. And Meaghan had been a member at the gym and was looking for a different job. And I told her about this. They had just gone from Steve's Club to rebranded to Forging Youth Resilience. And I was like, I would really like to do this. I really feel like this kind of program where ideally we can provide it for free fitness classes for kids that incorporates things like nutrition and sleep and stability for these kids and some of those things that we felt were lacking for some of that at-risk population. I said, if we can provide that in our gym, it's really important to me. And Meaghan and I are very much on the same page about those values. And so it really was just the absolute right person at the right time. And so when Meaghan came on as director of our Forging Youth Resilience Club, she's just done a fantastic job. Right person, right time. Yeah.
And that's how it is for the Housing Coalition too. Right person, right time. I mean, every person in this room is the exact person that we need to make the move forward.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
It just happens over and over.
It's just amazing how that works.
Yeah. So that's how, from the owner side of things, I really was just kind of sitting on this, just kind of waiting, knowing that we wanted to make it a more robust part of the of our gym space and gym offerings and stuff like that. And then Meaghan could kind of tell how she came to it.
So I actually used to work at the Y prior to this. So I was the sports director at that time and wanted to be able to spend more time with my own kids. I have 3 now. And I just was like, talked to my husband. I was like, maybe Chad and Sarah are looking for another coach.
Surprise.
So surprise, exactly. I was like, I can work, a few hours a week. And then, income will be a little different because we've always just been a 2-income household. So that'll be a change, but no biggie. That was not what I expected when we went and chatted. But
I was like, I have an idea.
yeah.
Karolyn's familiar with that.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
Anytime they say, okay, I have this idea, and you're going, oh no.
Yeah.
So how does Forging Youth Resilience, MACTown in air quotes, go beyond workouts to build connection and belonging?
Oh, that's in a nutshell. We create our own little community with our volunteers, our coaches, and our athletes in multiple ways. I don't want to say suffer. We work through workouts together. Sometimes they're really hard mentally. The kids might be like, no, we're actually suffering. They're really not.
I've worked out with your husband before. I felt like I was suffering.
Yeah, he's a tough one.
Yeah, but it pushes them outside of their norm to be like, oh, I actually can do an air squat, or I can lift this barbell that they may not have otherwise thought they could. And to do it in community with other kids that are experiencing that same feeling and emotion in different ways. It could be that they've never thought that they could walk into a PE class with any type of confidence, and now they can walk into PE class at school with the confidence of like, I can do this. I can do hard things.
So do you think that that's really what makes you unique, or are there other factors that you feel like maybe makes this program unique compared to other ones?
I feel like that makes us pretty unique in the sense of we're not just getting your typical athlete that already does extra work outside of their norm. We get the kids that are kind of scared to do stuff that's out of their comfort zone. And don't get me wrong, most kids are. They like to stay in their little bubble with their friends and keep in that like little social group. But by the kids just stepping into the gym, that's already setting them apart. And that sets us apart because we're bringing kids from all different walks of life together to share that 1 hour, 2 to 4 times a week that their friends aren't getting to experience. The kids don't realize how impactful this program is going to be 10 years from now and them.
So it sounds to me like you're also building confidence, which affects everything: school, the way they carry themselves, whether they're being bullied, all of those type of things. So that's one of the things that I love is that confidence building,
especially at that age. And I do think that it's, when you think about younger kids that, again, maybe have, other various issues they're kind of dealing with at school and home or peer groups and stuff like that, that really is a third place for them, where it's not home and it's not school. And it's a place where there are both, coaches and mentors in our staff that work with them, and just interacting with other peers that they maybe don't cross paths at school, but they cross paths there. And those kind of connections and ability to create a place for them that they get to just be that for an hour, is they just get to spend an hour with people that are encouraging and supportive and want them to succeed. And you don't have the stress of a test or a homework or a job or a parent or a sibling, any of those kind of dynamics that can kind of be a little more challenging. Is like they just really get to walk in as themselves, and we really try to cultivate that and help them kind of develop and grow in that. And the class structure is structured like that. I mean, Meaghan has really structured a class that is, you start with check-ins. How was your day? Give me a 1 through 5. And that kind of leads then the way we interact with that kid, throughout the class. So they don't have to be anything except what they are when they walk in.
So
So I had a question about how do you make it feel welcoming and inclusive for somebody that's never been in a gym before, and that can be really kind of overwhelming. But you answered that beautifully with the check-in and 1 to 5, how's your day? So can you share a member story that captures the heart of the program?
Yeah. So I actually have 2 seniors that are going to be graduating this May. Makes me feel real old. They started with the very beginning of the program, so to see them blossom and who they are today is really cool. But they actually this weekend are going up to Kansas City by themselves to get their CrossFit Level 1 certification, so that hopefully they will start coaching and giving back to the program that gave to them. So those 2 individuals, they are not, they're like the quintessential best friend pair. Okay. They're doing all the things together, but they both have grown individually through this program, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally strong, in the sense they're both strong physically, but to be able to have one in particular come out of her shell, and now she's wanting to become a teacher and work with kids, and she's doing that on a regular now, coaching our kids' classes. But she, at first, when she first started, she was very quiet, very shy, didn't really talk. Now I can't get her to stop talking.
That does happen.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Funny.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what challenges do people face when they start this? Staying consistent, coming every time, trying to get their fitness where it needs to be? Because I know as an adult, it's, you do really good. You got this big thing on January, and by February, half the people are not there anymore. They've decided, how do you keep the kids going and consistent with wanting to be there and working out and, all of those things?
The biggest struggle that we've noticed, and we've been in operation for a little over 4 years now, is getting them to the gym. The majority of our athletes are under the driving age. So trying to help them get to the gym. That is the biggest struggle we have. Now, when it's warmer out, a lot of them will ride bikes or walk, or they can carpool. But when you've got frigid temps and parents who've got crazy work schedules, or sometimes we kind of know what's going on at home, the kids can choose to divulge what is happening. So really, transportation is the biggest issue, and trying to make connections within other athletes and who they get rides from, and trying to make those connections like, oh, Susie really wants to come to class, but she doesn't have a ride. Well, then let's get her with Johnny and Johnny's mom and try and figure out connections that way.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so have you seen the fitness impact the mental health and confidence and resilience? I know this group of kids, it seems like before COVID and after COVID is kind of this time frame. And the kids after COVID that went through that, where they were home and sheltered, their confidence and stuff is not the same as before COVID.
So it's really interesting that you bring up the mental health side. Sarah kind of touched on, we do a mental health check-in, and kids are very observant. They already are conditioned as young as 5. When we ask, hey, how's your day going? They'll say fine. But what does that actually mean? So with our check-in, we ask them on a scale of 1 to 5, how's your day? 5 is typically they've had an amazing day. They can't wait to share about it. 3 is it's been okay. And we're not asking how was the day, like, did you just go through the motions? But how were you doing emotionally? So it's building that emotional vocabulary and awareness to help them be able to articulate how they're actually feeling. Sometimes when a kiddo comes in with like a 1 or a 2, they're like, man, I don't really know how to explain how I felt. So being able to tie that into the resiliency piece by giving them the tools to understand how they actually felt throughout the day, and then checking back in with them at the end of class. Because endorphins, exercise gives us all happy endorphins.
That's true.
I know,
That is
right?
kind of amazing, especially sometimes in that younger age demographic in those classes, because they're learning that. They're learning how to express how they feel and stuff like that. And so kind of giving them a space to do that, again, with a peer group, they're in a group of class with other kids that are similar ages, to be able to articulate how they're really feeling amongst a peer group at that age is pretty unusual. And the check-in afterwards is like, if you've had a kid that's come in and has said, they had a 2-day, at the end of the workout, they're like, well, it's about a 3.5 now.
Oh,
and you
that's
can
awesome.
tie that in then too and go like, moving does make you feel better.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson we all carry on. And that's what we hope they do carry, is that this is a part of what can help you feel better, regardless of what's going on.
Well, and one of the things that we find with the folks we work with is that resilience.
Yeah.
If you had a teacher or a coach or a counselor or anybody that helped you figure out how to be resilient, you're better able to bounce back. You're better able to move through whatever life throws at you. And so that work is extremely important for the kids that we see as they grow up.
So we always like to let our listeners know kind of how this went. What were the challenges? So when you decided, we're going to do this new thing, and you got on board, what were some of the challenges so that people that are listening, because, people listen from all over the country. We have international listeners. And so we want to kind of give them an idea. What if they want to start something like this in their community? How difficult was it to get going?
Yeah. Forging Youth Resilience is a national program. So anybody or facility or trainer or whatever can start it. We have a little bit of a unique experience where we're hosting it, right, at our Mactown Fitness Company. But there's other clubs that are more mobile. And so there's a lot of different ways for this particular program to be kind of utilized. The challenges that we faced were just some funding ones, because we really did want to do this as a free program. Some other programs charge various amounts and stuff like that. But when we initially started, we did have an initial charge on it because we weren't sure how we would, kind of fund the things, because we provide, healthy snacks after the class. And like Meaghan said, her hours and coaching and some of that kind of stuff. And we got, I don't know how long we did that. It wasn't long before I was like, just make it free. The gym's going to cover the cost.
I think it was like 3 months.
I would say 2 or 3 months.
Oh, and that's quick.
It kind of got to the point where I was like, we're not doing this. Like, the gym will cover the cost of it until this gets off the ground. And Meaghan is a fantastic grant writer. And so from a funding standpoint, she's worked, that's really a lot of her work too, is just trying to find funding for the program to continue to be able to provide for the kids and stuff. But from a system standpoint, we had that nailed down pretty quickly. Again, she's a phenomenal coach. And then staffing, volunteers to coach and that kind of thing, to find people that wanted to volunteer their time to kind of invest in these kids. We have some of our current staff that does it, but then we've also have different members and stuff that are also coaching the kids' class on a volunteer basis. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal to be able to run a program like that. Free. Totally free.
Were there any lessons that you feel like you learned? I always do everything the hard way. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going to dive in and just hope that I can swim at the end of it.
Yeah, I think we had Meaghan and I have a great relationship. She's a dear friend. So I think our brainstorming sessions, we usually landed in similar places. So whatever challenges we kind of faced, we were able to kind of like, and I maybe am the same way. I'm like, well, let's just try it.
Yeah.
Try it, and then we'll check in again. And so there was plenty of that. So the way it's operating now is how we've been operating for quite a while. But that first year was a lot of trial and error of how do we get the word out to kids? Who do we need to contact? So because that's part of it too. One of the big challenges was how do we let people know that this exists? You know, like we want the school systems and those kind of things where we could have contact with the population that this would really benefit. That was really the challenge initially, was getting the word out. Like, you know, this exists and it's free. Please come. Yeah.
So after this podcast, they're going to have 1,000 kids show up.
I would love it.
Right?
Man, let's bust at the seams. We would love that. Love that.
So that leads me to my next question, and that is, how do you engage the broader community outside the gym?
Lots of different ways. So we are also we're very fortunate to be a United Way agency. So we participate in a couple of different areas. We do the Party in the Park. The United Way of McPherson County has hosted the past couple of years. We also, not everybody that's listening may know what All Schools Day is.
Nobody else knows in the whole world what it is.
Exactly. So
annual town festival.
Celebrate the kids that are moving on to the next grade or graduating. But we host a 5K for All Schools Day weekend. It's one of our fundraisers that we do to keep costs down for the club. But this is going to sound really bad. I'm on Facebook a lot. But I do it so that if I see a parent, it's like, I'm looking for my kiddo to have something to do after school. We just moved into town. It's like I'm the first one messaging that person like, hey, we have this for free. Yeah. Please bring your child. Or on the flip side, teens. Teens are really a hard target to hit. They're so busy. They have jobs after school. They're taking a ton of classes at school because they're trying to get as far ahead in their college education as they can. They're doing 2 or 3 sports, or they're helping out at home. You know, they run the gamut of things. Yeah. So when a parent or a family friend or family member is like, hey, I need something for our teen that I know to go do, that's typically where I like strike. And like, we have this class for free. Please bring that kid or teen, I should say, so that they can have community, so that they can also benefit from all these amazing things Forging Youth Resilience is doing in McPherson County. Yeah,
so when we look at this, we always like to tie it back to housing and housing stability. It's really important because we are called Housing for Good.
That's right.
And so people are like, why are they talking about fitness or whatever? What does that have to do with anything? So how does your program create stability for families? How would you say that creates stability? That anytime you create stability, any type of stability, it helps with housing. It's all connected. People don't understand that all these things, the senior center and what you're doing, all these things are creating stability for families, for seniors, for kids, and for all of it. How do you fit into that space, do you think?
So in the sense of stability, we provide classes 4 days a week for our teens regularly all year long. We don't break for summer. We might break for spring break if most of the kids are like, hey, I'm going to be gone, or I've got whatever going on. We also provide our younger kids classes 3 days a week too, at the same time, Monday and Tuesday, and then Saturday mornings.
Okay.
So by being able to provide that stability in scheduling things, no matter what time of year it is, no matter the weather, pending any freezing temps, we're providing that stability, and those kids are knowing like, hey, I'm going to go to class. I'm going to go do a workout. I'm going to get to see so-and-so at CrossFit, and I'm going to get to see this coach, and I'm going to get to see them next week too. That's so important for kids.
Yeah, so it's really impacting the child. We always say if you can get to the kids, you could stop some of the stuff that's going on for the next generation.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing, is helping, supporting, and growing with the stability and mental health for these kids so that they can grow into healthy adults in physically, mentally, and all kinds of ways.
I think it's important that they're in the gym space, because they are there at times that we're having adult classes too. And so there is a network, and I think you know this too, is a lot of times in housing stability and other resources and stuff like that, sometimes it's who you know.
Oh, it's
and
who you know.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so some of even those kinds of things, as the kids get into teens, and like Meaghan mentioned, 2 of our teens that are graduating are going to coach for us. You know, some of those just even network opportunities that as you go through the program and stuff like that are available, or if we hear of a family that needs help, we have an entire network at our gym that is very inclined to help or provide, you know, those kinds of things. And so kind of utilizing that as a support system for the kids, whether they know it's there or not, you know, in a broader way, it exists. And so we like to leverage that when we have the opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a child that wants to come. How do I let you know, or is everybody free? Like
Everybody.
Everyone.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know sometimes the Y, they'll have a program that you want your child to be involved in, and you can request a scholarship.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be really
Hard.
humbling and hard.
You don't want to share that information? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things when we first discussed whether we were going to do, you know, is there going to be some kind of sliding scale or, you know, like that kind of thing. And we got a couple minutes in and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's free. I don't care who walks in the door. It's free. If you are 7 to 18,
And
you can come.
I know some kids that are in that are upper middle class.
Yes, absolutely.
They are not in
Yeah.
any way financially.
We could absolutely
struggling.
charge them X, Y, or Z,
Yes,
and we
and-
just aren't
But
going
it's
to.
great because it gives the kids of different backgrounds an ability to mingle
Yes.
and to go, oh my goodness, that's so and so. He's my
Well, and you
friend.
think
He's
about
Exactly.
leveling the
I love that.
leveling the playing field on both sides.
Yes.
Is what
Yes.
is really the impact I think that you see is like there's not a like economic status
Yeah.
in there
Right.
at
right.
all.
You're paying and I'm not paying.
Exactly.
And that really creates.
Yeah.
Well,
that
and-
creates separation.
You're here.
Yeah.
We're glad.
And ultimately, the kids don't care.
They do not care.
They 100% don't care. They're there because they enjoy the kids that they get to work out with, and they enjoy the classes, they enjoy the workouts, they enjoy the games that we get to play after class. They don't care.
They enjoy the walk when the weather's nice.
Yes. They really enjoy the snacks.
Yeah.
I know, right? Maybe
Yeah.
we could just show up for the snacks.
You could. You could.
Right?
We would share our snacks.
You've been on our
with you.
podcast. We get snacks.
We would share our snacks.
We didn't bring them snacks. I feel kind of bad now, but okay. So where can listeners learn more or get involved with what you're trying to do? We need to wrap this up a little bit. So tell us that.
Easiest way to find out more information is to follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
It's FYR Mactown. It's pronounced Fire Mactown. We also have an Instagram page that is Fire Mactown. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us, find out more information. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
You can also get on the gym website, MactownFitnessCompany.com,
Okay.
and there's a chat feature there, so you can drop something in the chat or give us a call or text or whatever, and just ask about the program, and we're happy to send you Meaghan's way.
Do people ever just show up at the gym?
Sometimes.
And you're okay with that? If
Yeah,
they just
absolutely.
pop in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, we're the Mondays and Tuesdays, we have the younger group that starts at 4:15. So if you have a kid that's in that 7, 8 to 12, just come at 4:15, and we'll chat with you. And the teens meet at 6:30 p.m. So if you got a teen that age, just come by. It's easy to sign up, and we'll take care of you from there.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
This
Okay,
was good.
I'm just going to say it. I love the city of McPherson. I love how we have
We do
so
too.
many
I
different
know.
agencies and
Yeah.
people that are wanting to make a difference in the stability of our families, that are working to the best of their ability to make a difference in a kid's life. And I just absolutely love McPherson.
I know. Look at you. You're tearing up over there.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love it.
I'm
okay.
over here making jokes and you're tearing up. How does that go?
So that has been our podcast for
Awesome
today.
podcast.
If you are
Yep.
interested in being on the show, you know somebody that would be a great guest, a good conversation. We don't want you to feel any pressure. We just want you to come and have an honest conversation with us about what you're doing and how you want to make a difference. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. And you can do all of that at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org.
and have a great day.